So English is a language that's not very easy to grasp, and if you're learning it from scratch, and especially if you're learning it on your own through YouTube or through online courses, it can be very difficult to stay motivated, just because we sometimes feel that our progress isn't enough, or maybe we've been reading a lot, we've been learning a lot, but when it comes to actually speaking English in a conversation, we freeze, we feel we don't know what we are talking about, and we keep on translating things in our head. So it just draws away motivation from us to keep learning. And by the way, you don't have to worry, because you're not alone in this. We all go through this, no matter in what we learn. It's not just English, but it's in general. But irrespective of even that point, even if it's languages, we all go through it. We've all gone through it, in fact, in our own lives multiple times. So here are a few things that I think are going to help you to be slightly more motivated. And number one is actually setting up clear goals. But the way we set goals, usually I want to score a 9 in IELTS, right? Now I've done that personally, but here is a problem with setting a goal like that. Most of it, right, so you can prepare well, but most of the outcome is not in our hands. So what we need to do is we need to change our goal setting principles. We need to set goals that are based on a process. So for example, I want to become a better content creator, right? Now on Instagram, I have 47,000 followers on Instagram. My goal is in 2024, I want to reach to 100,000, 1 lakh followers on Instagram. Now the problem is, to add that extra 53 or 1,000 people, I can have that goal, but that's not in my control. What's in my control? In my control is me making videos, or me making really good videos. So rather than saying I want to add 53,000 people to my current Instagram following, I should say throughout 2024, I want to publish at least 6 reels in a week, right? So I know publishing consistently will get me there. Publishing good, valuable content for you guys consistently will get me there. So that's my goal, right? So rather than saying an outcome is my goal, I say a process is my goal. So spending 20 minutes on English every single day can be your process based goal. That's very easy to achieve, right? 20 minutes a day, it's easy to achieve, but the net result is the things compound and our progress compounds, and we are able to get closer to our actual real long-term goals. So having a process-based goal is going to keep you slightly more motivated on a day-to-day basis. Now, another thing that's very important is, especially around grammar and these kind of things, we tend to use books and all of these resources, and they are written in a very boring way, to be very honest, right? A lot of the language learning material out there, it's pretty boring. So what we need to do is we need to diversify our learning methods. Now what does that mean? So diversification simply means that I need to have multiple things in my basket, and basically rather than just going with a book, I should go with books, I should go with YouTube videos, I should go with audio, I should go with let's say different apps. I can go with a Cambly style app, I can go with a Duolingo style app. So by diversifying my learning methods, movies, podcasts, all of these things come into learning methods as well, right? So by diversifying my learning methods, I can make sure when I am bored and feeling less motivated, I can move towards, I can still continue that 20 minutes a day or something of that sorts of practice. However, I can move that practice towards something that I'm more interested in. Let's say I love watching English movies, or I love watching English podcasts, right? Or listening to English podcasts rather. If I'm bored on a specific day, what's a man to do? Simply, I'll choose my favorite resource and I'll spend 20 minutes there. Let's say if I had textbook that day, I didn't feel like doing the textbook, I can still keep myself exposed to learning English through a different medium altogether. So that's going to really help you. Now this also kind of comes over keeping things fun. A lot of times we get pretty serious, right? It's language learning, I need to learn, I need to speak, blah blah blah. We need to keep things fun. Kids are able to learn really well because the process of learning is actually fun. As the fun gets taken out of a learning process, things become hard, they become demotivating, they become uninspiring rather. And that's why a lot of us don't enjoy the traditional school-based learning system, because sometimes things are not very interesting, things are not very fun. And that takes motivation away from us to study, to learn, to do something like that. So you might want to figure out ways that are fun for you. Now, there might not be a blanket answer that I can give you in this case, so you'll have to figure this one out on your own. But what you can do to make it relatively easier also is find a language partner. Find somebody who's also learning English. Find somebody who's also maybe at a similar level to you, or maybe a little bit better even. They could be, for example, they could be better at speaking, you maybe are better at writing, so you can make them your learning partner, and you can each help each other to progress, but also to keep yourselves accountable, because accountability and consistency is extremely important. However, if you're doing it with a friend, things are going to be relatively more fun as well. So finding a language learning partner is going to be extremely helpful. So you can do that artificially by paying somebody through an app like italki or Camly or something like that. However, I'll suggest look at a friend, maybe in your school, maybe in your college, maybe somebody who lives close by, and just learn together. Spend 20 minutes to half an hour together when you're learning English. It's gonna keep things a little bit more fun, and maybe there's going to be like some time when you are not motivated but they are, so they'll push you through that whole cliff of a period, and that's what we want. That's why we are looking at an accountability partner. That's the exact word, by the way, to be serious. Now, another thing that you can look at is the choice of your topics. Now, the reason I was able to pick up languages fast was because I was getting exposed to the material that actually dealt in my favorite topics. So for example, let's say if I'm extremely interested in marketing and I'm learning a language, after just the basic stuff, I'll jump into marketing based material. I'll start reading marketing based material. So let's say if I was learning French, what I'll do is I'll learn the basics, and then I'll jump into marketing based books that are written in French, but maybe those are the books that are also written in English, and I've already read the English version of that. So what's that gonna do? It's going to be very simple. I'm already highly interested in that subject, so that's gonna keep me motivated anyways, but also it will be applicable to my daily life, if you understand what I mean, right? We learn a language, it ends up not being applicable to our daily life because we learned how to order ramen at a restaurant, but we don't have any ramen restaurants around us, right? So we need to make things a bit more personal for ourselves to stay motivated. And then comes gamifying these things. So gamifying is very simple. For example, you have like a calendar hanging in front of you. Every day you learn English, you mark a cross on that date. Or you can use an app like Duolingo that maintains a streak for you. Now, that gamification, so gamification is not the process of making games. Gamification is the process of rather making a system and setting it up in a way so that the person is in general more motivated and inclined, and they get the psychological push to actually put in the work that's required. So gamification is used in different apps in different kind of ways. I do that professionally as a growth hacker as well. But when you talk about apps like Duolingo, they artificially make you feel like you want to do it because you want to maintain your streak. You don't want your streak to break, or maybe you are doing that whole, in Duolingo, there's like thing that you can do together with a friend. So there's this friend based some learning progress. I don't remember the technical name they have for that. But by doing things like that, you actually gamify things, you make things more fun, but your mind wants to accomplish that as well. And that's as soon as you get your daily, whatever lesson was for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you get your hook, you get your feeling that, I've achieved something today. And that's those small feelings of success, those smaller success pieces throughout the year are what are the things that are going to actually keep you motivated in your English language learning process. So that's all. These are the tips I have for you. If you have anything else for me that you would like to share with the people here, make sure to leave that in the comments below. Any questions are extremely welcome. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. I'll see you guys next time. Till then, bye and take care, my friends.